is what I'm going to put on.
All right, LinkedIn kicked me out. I gotta remove it. Hold on. Damn it. Why is it not? Okay, I think we're live.
Yeah, we are live.
All right, we're live.
We're live. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, Facebook and YouTube and possibly LinkedIn. I'm not sure.
No, LinkedIn kicked us off.
We're coming a little early today. Not sure if everybody noticed that, but we're coming in at 7 instead of 7:30 because there's something else there's another thing happening called Impact. Wait, Purpose to Impact? Is that what it's called? Purpose to Impact. If you guys are interested on going over there, just let us know, and I think I could just send the link. It's a really great challenge. It's about finding your purpose to impact, which seems to be the topic of the week. Hey, Dion, what's up? Hey, why isn't Dion up to impact? Did you invite him?
I don't know.
Well,
I invited a lot of people.
Hey, Debbie, how are you? Hi. So, oh, wait, I'm saying hi to everyone and I haven't even shared. Let me share.
My internet is stink-faced, man. Oh my gosh, so bad.
Well, it's okay. We're good. We're here. We're already here. All right, guys. So we are here tonight a little earlier to bring some type of positive message about growth. And well, this is tonight. This is your night. You should be introducing what it is. Why am I doing the introductions? You do the introductions. It's your job to do the introductions.
I always do the introductions.
Yeah, you do. You do. All right.
Are you gonna turn the music off?
No, don't you like the music? You're the one that made me put the music.
No, I don't like it.
Okay, fine. No music. Hey, Heather. Yay, something to listen to while I drive. Yeah, he made me turn it off right now, so we can't listen to it.
No, she wasn't talking about the music.
What was she? Oh, okay, that's true. She was talking about us.
The song that you had on was not a very good song.
Well, I'm just putting your people on. It actually sounded good.
Look.
Hi, Sing. How are you?
What's up, everybody? How we doing this evening?
How's everybody doing tonight? Hey, Lori. Hi, everyone.
Oh, Dion, I gotta message you. I haven't heard from Dion. That's why I had Dion. I haven't even heard from him.
So we came early today because we're doing something else at 8 o'clock. It's a challenge called Purpose to Impact. If you guys want to go over there and watch it, it's called Purpose to Impact. Right? Is that what it's called?
Purpose to Impact Challenge. I invited a lot of people. Anyways, we're not going to keep repeating ourselves. How we doing this wonderful Wednesday evening, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm back. I'm having some issues with some technology. It seems like every time my son uses the television, it sucks the internet out of everything else. So that tells you how bad television is. It tells you it doesn't that says something. That says something. What's up, Alexandra? How you doing? Hi, Kimon. How you doing? What's up, Lori? Hey, Heather.
Hey, Ryan.
So anyway, tonight, guys, let's just get started. We're gonna try to be about 45 minutes. We'll see how that goes.
Yes.
If Sarai doesn't talk the whole time, then we'll be okay.
Wow.
But you guys know how much she can get on a rant. But
oh wow, Lori, who could go on a rant? I think you're the one that goes on a rant. But anyway, we'll go there. We only have 45 minutes. Come on, stop.
Tonight is your transformational talk with Ray and Sarai. I said Ray. with Ray and Sarai. And most those that don't know me, I'm Raymond Wright. I'm definitely not Sarai, you know.
Maybe one day I should be you and you should be me. Maybe we should do that one day. I'll be Ray.
Man,
Look, I'm gonna
but
do Ray. I'm Ray, the inspirator, the transformator, and I am your something something from Right Way
how do
Leadership
you
and
not know
Coaching.
that yet? Like you've heard me say it 1,000 times and you can't even get it down.
You sound like you're whining right now. I got most of it right. I got most of it right.
No,
Okay,
it's
you do me.
I'm your
You do me.
motivator, your
I'm the
inspirator, but most
motivator. I'm your
importantly, your
inspirator.
transformator.
And I'm your transformator. And I am the founder of Right Way Leadership and Coaching. That's it. I did you. You do me now. Go. You do me.
Hi, this is Sarai no more. I'm a licensed trauma therapist from Miami.
And I am fabulous. And hold on. Oh God. Guys, I hope you're laughing at this.
Got my
I hope
nails
we're bringing
done
a smile.
today.
I got my nails done. And I'm dealing with Ray Ray. Like Ray Ray right here, right? Look, I'm
You know,
gonna
when
poke
you
him in the
say
head.
Ray Ray, when you say Ray Ray, it makes it really sounds like I'm in prison. That's Ray Ray. That's that's Ray Ray cell block 71993.
Wait, and who's Ray Ray in prison? Is Ray Ray in prison the one
I
that
just it's like
the master
wait,
of
it's Ray Ray.
prison, or
Yo,
you're the
Ray
one that's
Ray.
getting punked?
Yo, Ray Ray.
Well, you've been Ray Ray forever. You're so Ray Ray. You're Ray Ray. Look,
Oh
Carrie's
my
on here.
god.
Carrie's on here. Carrie knows you're Ray Ray.
Look,
Those of us that know
we
Raymond,
just might
we know
make
he's not
tonight a
no
bloopers
Raymond. He
night.
is Ray Ray. Anyway, so what
You
is
don't even
tonight's
know what
topic?
you're talking about.
What is tonight's topic, Ray Ray? I have to help you stay focused today.
How's that?
Are we going to be playing this game of zooming in and zooming out? We're losing viewers.
I'm
We're
just
losing viewers.
look. I'm just listen. It's been a long week. Anyways, all right, here we go. We're gonna get started. I'm gonna get fired up. I'm gonna get fired up. Excuse me.
Let's get started.
Hey guys, I like super burnt spinach. Have you guys ever burnt spinach to the pan? It smells so bad. Oh my, the whole house smells like burnt feet. Anyways,
Burnt
I just
spinach.
yeah.
No,
Well,
but you know
because
what?
I was waiting for
I've had
you.
fried spinach. Whatever. I've had fried spinach, and it melts in your mouth. It's so good. Have you ever had that? Like flash
No,
frying?
that like I'm sorry. I just want to eat green vegetables. I don't need fried vegetables. I'm okay with that.
If you flash fry it, and they're like chips, but when you put them in your mouth, they're not crunchy. They're
Oh, so
crunchy, but they
they're
melt.
like spinach chips. So you bought chips from a store that were spinach.
No, I went to a fancy restaurant and they had this. What I'm talking to you about, and it's
Oh,
really good.
all right.
Whatever, Ray
Anyways,
Ray.
let's
Just
get
go,
off
Ray Ray.
this tip. I think people are ready to hear some good stuff tonight. So,
Yeah.
guys, welcome to this evening with the Transformational Talk with Ray and Sarai. I'm super excited. Again, I'm your man, Raymond Wright, the founder of Right Way Leadership Transformational Coaching. This is my co-pilot and sidekick next to me, Sarai no more. She is a licensed trauma therapist from Great
You're
Britain.
my sidekick. You're my sidekick.
Right.
Did you hear, guys? Did you hear they call me a sidekick? He's the sidekick. Wait,
Listen.
he's the sidekick. He is the
This
sidekick.
is so tonight is exciting. This is episode 19. Can you believe this is episode 9? I feel like you faked that. Like that seems like a lot of episodes. Like I've
No,
dealt
I
with you
count every
19
time.
episodes.
You're wrong. I count every time. I go back and I count last week. Last week was the number, and
You
I
guys
do this.
see that?
Yeah.
She didn't even catch that. So, anyways, tonight, so excuse me, I want to get a little fired up. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep in the last couple of days, and that's okay. That's what happens in this type of industry because we're all about trying to serve the people, bring value, add content, and stay up as late as we can so we look senile. But tonight, episode 19, thank you for joining in. I hope we bring some value tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk about a topic that I think what I really brought this topic came to me is because I was thinking about, everything going on in the communities, in the states, in the country. I thought about people who are dealing with stuff. With Maryland is getting ready to go back to stage 1 in the COVID thing. So there's a lot going on right now. So I thought, you know what? There's a lot of people that find a lot of time they're complaining, they're criticizing, they're condemning one another. They're bashing each other, they're fighting amongst each other. And I said, you know what? Let's talk about open your grip. open your grip. And Sarai didn't think that was good enough. So we talked about, so I added to invite growth, and that satisfied her. So tonight we're going to talk about open your grip to invite growth. So when I think about this, when I think about opening your grip, what I don't know what that means to a lot of you guys, but when I say open your grip, right? The first thing that we have to do in any type of transformation is we have to have an understanding that we have to be open and we have to be receiving. If we're not willing to receive, if we're not open to receive, then we stay holding on to the hurts, pains, traumas, whatever it is of the past. And sometimes those things that we're holding on to, right? When I talk about the grip, it's the grip that we don't want to let go. It's the reins that we're trying to remain in control of something that we have no control over. And in order for you to invite growth into your life, in order for you to fully get the full potential that your life has to offer, you have to be open. Not only open, not only an open grip, but you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to receive new information. In order to get old information out, you need to let new information in. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about this evening. And I'm going to try to bring some great value in a short period of time. And you know how I'm just going to try to stay like kind of calm, because I don't want to really, I want somebody to hear something tonight that they're going to implement into their life immediately. That's really what I want to do. So,
Okay.
Sarai, when you think of opening your grip, when you think of inviting growth into your life, so just that title alone, like, what does that mean to you?
I think like when you were saying that, when I was hearing you talk, it means to me letting go of what we know as reality, letting go of basically all that we know and getting excited for the future. So that's what it means to me. It means letting a lot of us, we don't know what the future it will bring. So then we're sort of afraid to let go. So I almost see it like when you were saying it, I was seeing it with one hand like holding on to the past and with the other hand reaching to the future. So for me, it's like letting go of the past to reach for the future and getting excited about what's going to happen instead of living in fear, and instead of like you were talking about everything that's happening with COVID and everything, and that traps people in so much fear and the limited knowledge that we have, because our knowledge is limited because it's only about the past. It's only about our experiences. What we don't know is everything that is before us. So that's what it means to me. It means letting go of the past, accepting that we have limited knowledge. We only have the knowledge of our experiences, and just going forward and being excited about the future. I'm super excited about the future.
Excuse me.
I'm super excited for 2021, even though, and everything that's going to happen even over the next couple months, even though yeah, there is the rising numbers of COVID and all of that, but I'm still excited because even though COVID has been here and all these things have happened, I think it's also been an awesome year of growth, of learning, of doing things that are different for us, finding new ways of communicating, finding new ways of just connecting with people. So I think it's been a good year despite it all, despite everything else that has happened. So many terrible
Mm.
things have happened, but at the end of everything, it's I think it's been a good year. What do you think?
I mean, it's for me, because I'm a relationship person. So I definitely miss the live events. I definitely miss the live stuff.
Yeah,
Because virtual, it's fun, but it's not the same atmosphere. It's definitely not the same energy. You know what I mean? You can
no,
get up, but and that's the hard thing, because a lot of people that we've kind of built relationships with, we live all over. We live all over the place, really. But it's definitely been a year of seasoning. So it's what do you call it? Marinating. I feel like this has been the time, like how you marinate steak or you marinate chicken, you know what I mean? And you let the flavor soak in, and it's just so
yeah.
much better than just throwing it in the oven. So I think
Hmm.
I'm really hoping, and many people haven't used this opportunity. A lot of people have wasted this opportunity because they haven't had an open grip to their life. They have not invited growth. So when you say that you believe that stepping in order to let go, you got to step into the future. Many people don't. They're terrified. They're
Hmm.
terrified. And one thing that was really in my mind today, I was thinking, is so many people, right? They have questions. So many people got questions. They question everything. They question, I mean, if you think like they question this, they question that, they have questions on growth, they have questions on healing, they have questions on this. And then there's so many people that you give solutions to, right? Like when I go and where I'm consulting that and I'm talking to some of the people is they have all these questions and you give them solutions. It's the same thing in the coaching and the mentor program, and probably what you do with counseling people is you give them solutions, and they can't get past the question.
You
You know
mean
what I'm saying?
when you say question, do you mean doubt? When you say
Yeah,
question,
it's
is a
no,
question also a doubt?
it's like what do you feel? What do you feel is holding you back? Well, there's this old thing, and then this and that, and then you give them a solution, but they're stuck on the question still.
Yeah,
So
because they're stuck on doubt. They're still stuck on
oh,
doubt and not
I
believing.
don't even know if it's necessarily doubt. What I'm starting to learn is there's so many people who are struggling. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who you see it on social media, right? You know the difference between people who actually accept the help, receive the help, and communicate with you rather than the people who just post and post and post. And you give them an answer, you give them a solution, and they don't even acknowledge it, right? Because it's that boy who cried wolf. It's like they constantly want people to know that they're struggling, but they really don't want someone to really give them the answer. They want to remain stuck because they have this close grip on their life. And they know that if they start to open to receive that this is the problem that I have, right? Is people will hold on. They don't necessarily want the answers. They don't want the answers because they know that there's a solution. They know there's a solution. There are so many people that know there's a solution, but they block themselves off. So all
But
they want to do,
I think that comes from a lack of faith. I think when Selena just said, the minute you said that, you and Selena were in sync, because Selena just said because they really don't want the answer, and you said it at the same moment she said it. But when people don't want the answer, I don't think it's necessarily that they don't want the answer. They want the answer. I think they just don't believe in the answer, and they don't believe in the miracle, or they don't believe they don't have faith that it's gonna get better. So then
I don't
there's
know. I kind of
I think they're
disagree
afraid
though
to
a little
step
bit.
into it.
No, I kind of
I
disagree.
think they're afraid to step into it, and then fail and realize that it's not real, or it's not what they expected. People are so afraid to be disappointed that they rather live in the what do you call it? I call it the comfort zone, and you call it something else. But people are so afraid to step into the possibility, because what if the possibility isn't what it's saying it's going to be, and then there's this huge pain and disappointment. So let me just stay over here where it's safe. At least I'm familiar with this pain. Let me not go to that pain, because it might not be everything it's saying it's going to be. So when you give them the answer, that's just my opinion. I feel like most of the people I meet are just don't believe. They just don't believe, and because they don't believe, they're afraid to step into it. And basically what that means is that you're living in your reality of the past. You're living and you're recycling the same reality of your past, and it keeps happening over and over. But you don't want the answer that Raymond's giving you or anybody else, because you just don't believe that it could be true for you. You don't believe it exists, or whatever it is. And that pain might be worse, but that's just such faulty thinking. That's such faulty thinking, because don't you rather find out? Don't you rather step into that and find out if it's true or not true? And then if it's not true, move on to the next thing and create new realities for yourself. That's what real growth is releasing your grip, like you said, and opening yourself up to growth. But to do that, you
So
have to have some faith.
it goes back, and I agree with you, but I do disagree. I do believe that there's a majority of people. I want to say that there's a majority of people that want to sit in their pity. They want to sit in it because it brings them the attention that they feel they need, right? Even if it brings them bad attention, it brings them some attention. And those are learned behaviors. I learned that when I was a kid, right? But I do believe, that for sometimes, some reason, and I reach out, like I reach out and I talk to a lot of people, and it's the same thing. Like I say is say for example, if we have a meeting, right? Say if we have a meeting and there's a meeting of 10 or 12 people. I feel like sometimes there's people in that meeting that, I don't know. How do I say this? I don't even really know how to say this, but there's many people because of that closed grip that they have, right? Especially with people, a lot of people in positions, leadership positions. Well, I don't want to say leadership positions. Let's say management positions, because leadership is really, really tough. And I'm starting to learn that more now. But people in management positions or supervisor positions, they have these close grips more than anybody, right? And they're not willing to serve their staff or their employees properly because they're afraid, right? What are they? They're afraid
Yeah,
that
you
if
said
they
it.
open, if
Yeah,
they
you
open
said it.
up possibilities, right, to invite growth, then they have this fear that their job will be took, or that they'll be laid off, or that there's so it's in everything we do. But then you take it back to like the communities that we live in, right? There's so many people that like neighbors, for example, you know what I mean? They have such a close grip on everything that they want to
I
tell
mean,
you, right? What?
think about it. When do we clench our fist? When is it? When do we ever clench our fist? What state do you have to be in to clench your fist?
Well, mostly anger or frustration.
Anger, frustration, but also fear. Because anger is a secondary emotion. Like fear could lead you to anger. You could be so afraid and then get angry. So what for someone to have a close grip, you're implying fear, anger, frustration, all those things. And when you're like that, you're not really open to possibilities, and you're not really open to growth or anything like that. You're fearful, you're angry. Those are the main things that you're experiencing in your body when you have your I mean, think about it. Like when you're suddenly scared, you hold on like that. That's the first reaction when you're scared is like sort of like rolling yourself up and clenching your hands. So when you open your hands up, what does that mean? You're free, you're open. And it goes with like what you're saying, that being opening your hand, open yourself up for growth and for that stretch. And this is so important to think about now, because it's always the end of the year when we start thinking about our growth, and we start looking back and saying, man, what did I accomplish this year, and what do I want for next year, and that sort of thing. So it's a good time right now to think about that. It's a good time to think about how could you loosen your grip, how could you loosen your grip on things that you really don't have control over. Like control is just an illusion. We really don't have control over anything. Any day could bring any crazy surprise, a good surprise or a bad surprise. Any day brings with it what it brings. So holding on to stuff and holding on to ideas and expectations and all of that, it's really just an illusion. And we all do it. We all do it. God knows I do it too. Like we all do that. But let's at least acknowledge that it's really an illusion. Like any type of control is an illusion. Any day can knock you off your feet, and any day could just take you with joy and happiness and type of thing. So it's just about really being open to the day, and being open to possibilities, and being open to things, and stepping into that. That's what it is. And that it's been hard for me to do that, and I'm learning more and more to do that. I feel so free. I feel so free to be able to do that. I feel so free to not be clenching on to things. It's very freeing to think that way. You could talk now.
So
Well, Heather
you
said,
you you
she said,
you said control, right? And you said we have no control over everything, and
it's an
we do
illusion.
have control. We have control over ourselves. We have control over the way we respond, we react. We have control
Yeah,
over our thoughts. We have control over our attitude. Viktor Frankl, in the book A
true.
Man's Search for Meaning, was phenomenal when he said,
Hmm.
man, they took my family, they beat us, they did all these horrible things to us, but the one thing that they couldn't take, that you can only give, is your attitude. In the
That's
worst
true.
circumstances in life, there's so many people in so much worse circumstances than any of us that are watching me, that me or you could ever imagine, that they've been through, and they've survived. and they're positive and they're happy and they're excited because they
Yeah.
understood as long as they could control their attitude, they could survive. See,
Yeah.
and we think on the street, growing up in the street with addictions and abandonment and abuses, right? It's the opposite. We think survival of the fittest is the last man standing. We have these defense mechanisms that we put up that we won't let real people in. Instead, we'd like to keep the fake people around us because those people like to sugarcoat what the truth is, right? And then what gets uncomfortable is when you start to open your grip. When you open your grip, what that tells me is you got new people, new information, and new ideas coming in. That's the inviting of the growth. See, we can hold on. I used to say it was like me. It was like I was you guys know, I don't want to say I used to say a bucking bronco, because it's like a horse, right? And a bucking bronco, you ever seen one of those things? Right? It's like
Hmm.
the bull riding
Yeah.
thing. Them freaking things are crazy, right? I said that's me. Like I'd be riding the bronco and
It's still you.
I, I start to let go of some things, right? And all of a sudden the Bronco knocks me off, and I'm like, "Woo!" I've been relieved. The problem is I haven't let go of the freaking reins, and the thing's dragging me
Right.
all on the freaking wheel, right?
That's a
And
really
there's
good
people
metaphor.
yelling, "Just let go." you know, it's like I can't because this is the scary thing about humans. This is the scary thing, especially about trauma, is as soon as you let go, we feel we've lost all control.
Exactly, exactly, and that is true. That is true what you said about like when I say control is just an illusion, but you're right. The one thing we can control is how we respond to things, what we think about things, our decisions. That's what we can control, our decisions and actually putting them into action. And that's like part of being very intentional. And I think like opening up your grip is also about that too. It's also about
Mhm.
doing that. Because what are you really holding on to when you're holding on to something?
Yeah. But
What do you
I
your
think we've
your
all been there,
your
right?
audio your audio your audio? Guys, you behind the scenes, you don't know how Raymond drives me crazy. Like I could say this about him because he's like like oh, he's oh my god, you guys don't know. Anyway, he's back. Let me stop talking. Like Tracy Roberts, I don't want to make things harder for my family. Tracy Roberts says she doesn't want so, and I'm hung up on letting go. I don't want to make things harder on my family. So right there, that's an expression of fear. The fear of making things harder for your family. That's the biggest driver, like fear. It's either inspiration or
And I want to,
desperation.
but this is, and I love Tracy. Tracy's a great friend of mine. And Tracy's been through a lot. We've talked, and we kind of have the really, we got, I don't want to say the same, but we got very similar backgrounds. And the one thing I would say about that is this is the one thing that I learned in that situation is by not letting go, it made it harder on the family because they start to learn what to deal with, how to respond, what type of relationship to have. We instead of moving on, opening our grip and letting go of what we can't control, we build bad generational habits into our children,
Hmm.
even if we don't see it, right? We don't invite growth. We consist in stagnicity because we don't grow. I would rather see my kids I would rather have them look at me and see me like a freaking squirrel running in circles than staying still and dealing with the same things. I went through a divorce. It was a horrible thing, but I look at it now and I'm like, man, it sucks, but it's like that's the best thing that we could have done because we were both in a stagnant place. Neither one of us were willing to open our hands. We were holding on to traumas and pains from our past. We brought it into the home, and you can't break generational curses if you're holding on to the things that you grew up with because it
Yeah,
bleeds down through the kids. So,
exactly.
sometimes not letting go, right? This and I'm gonna touch on a couple things. It's like this. So you got someone, and I see this all the time. I see it right here in the city I live in. I see it in the city I grew up in, right? So you got this. So you got friends that grew up with friends, right? And the one friend does super good in school, right? But then they feel that there starts to be a separation. So what that person will do is they'll start to not do as good in school so they can continue to fit in with their old friends. Or you got somebody, you got your circle of friends at a job, right? And you're working your tail off, right? And you goof off with this little clique that you got work. You become girlfriends, dudes, your boys, whatever. And then they come to you and they're like, man, I really like your work ethic. I'd like to make you a supervisor. And you turn down that position because you're afraid that you're going to separate yourself from the people that you once ran with. See, this
It's
is
all
what
fear. Do you see what you're
it is a
saying? It's
fear.
all fear.
Absolutely.
It's all fear.
But it's the fact of this. If you're not willing to open up to new opportunities, new ideas, new growth, then by the time you're going to get older and you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be angry, you're going
And
to be
regretful.
it's going to be more fear. So if you don't face the fear builds fear.
But you know what? I would like to tell everyone how to face the fear. So, one thing I want to say is, Heather says, when you were talking earlier about like people don't want to hear the answer, Heather says because sometimes the answer hurts. And you know what? That's absolutely true. Like I'm the type of person that if you tell me a truth that I don't want to hear, I'll even get mad in that moment. I'm not gonna stop being your friend. I'll get mad. I'll get upset. But like within 24 hours, I will let you know, hey, you know what, you were right about what you said, or maybe in that moment. So yeah, none of us want to hear, things, but it's so necessary to have people around us that are willing to tell us the truth. You know, I am that person for Raymond.
So annoying.
and he, and he does not like that, and he's that person for me too. So like so we don't nobody wants to hear the truth, and you should see Raymond getting mad when he hears the truth. So but it's so necessary to have a circle of
Why are you
people
putting all
around
my
you.
business out there?
I'm just saying, it's so necessary to have people out there who are willing and are courageous enough to face you, because you're difficult. You're difficult. So it's so important to have people that are willing to face you and tell you, hey, you know what? Like, that's not what you said last week. Or, hey, you know what? Is that really serving your greater purpose? So it's so necessary to have people who will say the right things to you or question you in the right way so that you could get better and grow. Because what we have in our mind isn't always accurate. And it's normally the narrative and the story that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves in that gripped position of, I don't want to let go, and no, it's so scary. So that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to give people an idea of how to let go of their grip. And the best way that I think you could start letting go of your grip of what you think is reality. And remember, your reality is subjective, and it's not a fact. Your reality is simply what you have come up with based off all your life experiences and everything you've accumulated. You came up with this thing, which is called your reality, but it's not a fact. It's simply your state. It's simply your reality. It's your truth. But in order to let go of that, because many times it's not serving us, many times we're just holding on to things that are just fear-based, and we're afraid to let go, like Raymond is saying. So what do? We have to create a compelling future. We have to create a compelling future that excites us, that we could sit and meditate on, and we could dream about, and we could, use our imagination. Our imagination is so powerful. And if you imagine something and you take the time, if you just take the time to sit there, close your eyes, put some music on, and rehearse your future in your mind, just let it play out in your mind. What happens is that your mind starts believing that it's true. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what's really happening and what's happening in your imagination. So you start creating it in your mind, and your mind thinks it's true. Therefore, your mind starts to expect it. You start expecting that thing that you're creating, that super amazing, compelling future, as opposed to being stuck on the fears of the past. And you have a choice. You actually have a choice to realize, oh shit, I said a bad word. You have a choice to go, oh, whatever. OSHI, whatever.
Why can't it
I'm
just be
thinking,
oh dang?
oh dang, I'm thinking in fear. Let me let go of that and let me think about what I
You see
want.
that,
Let me stop
Johnny?
thinking.
You see what I deal with,
Let
Johnny?
let me stop thinking
Thank
about
you,
what I
brother
don't
Johnny.
want. Raymond, be quiet. Let me stop thinking about Raymond. Start thinking about. Don't be thinking about what I don't want. Think about what you do want. Think about what your future is going to look like, and you're going to get pulled in that direction. As opposed, I mean, think about it. Just visualize it. The more you're thinking about your fears, the more you're living there, and the more you allow yourself to envision your future, it's like you're getting pulled in that direction. You could even meditate on that. You could close your eyes, put some music on, think about your future, and sort of just imagine yourself getting pulled into that future that you want. It's
Mm,
possible. If it's in your mind, if it was birthed in your mind, it was placed there, and it's a possibility for you. Do you understand? It's a possibility for you. So that's, I wish more people could understand that it is a possibility. You're not doomed to the life that you're living. You're not doomed to the things that are making you unhappy in this moment. That's a choice. You could choose something different, which is what you do have control over, which is what Raymond so awesomely corrected me a little while ago and told me that we do have things that we could control. And you're right, that is one of the things we could control. We could control our choices. We could control to realize in that moment where you're freaking yourself out, you could go, oh, wow, here I'm doing it again. Let me stop it right now. You could actually stop it right there and then and do something different and maybe put piano music or just close your eyes and put some meditation music and meditate on it. Um, what do you think, Mr. Raymond? I know you're gonna say I think
I
a lot right now, but whatever.
no, I don't even have to. It's not even. It's not.
My
You
dad's
just
watching. You better be nice. My dad's watching. He
you.
might come and beat you up if you say something negative about me. I can see him.
He's probably saying, "Get a Ray, get a Ray, get a Ray." No,
No, no, he's on my side.
listen. TD Jake says it best. I like what TD Jake says. TD Jake says, if you buy a new car and you put the same old man into a brand new car, you get the same old experience, right? It's the same thing in everything that we do. If you take the same broken relationship and you don't open up to receiving new growth, right? You don't learn from the past relationship. Instead, you jump into a relationship with the same person that you were with last time, just with a different name, right? And then you hold on to these things, and then you take the same old person, you go into a blessed relationship, and then you start to think, well, the last one didn't work, the one before that didn't work, so I know this one ain't gonna work. So you never even give it a full shot. You never even really receive that somebody's willing and able to love you. It's the same thing with a job. You go into a job knowing that you'll never get that next position. So you stay in a place with this closed grip, and you're unwilling to receive opportunities that are right in front of you. See, when we have closed grips, we can't even see the blessing in front of us. We can't even see it. So there's a woman in the Bible, right, where the prophecy came to her, and she literally, there was famine that was going on, and the famine killed it killed the animals, it killed the food, it killed everything. And the man came to her, I can't remember the name, so forgive me, but and she literally had enough food to feed her and her son. And that's what she said. She said, we're going to eat and then die, right? And the man and the prophecy said, well, why don't you make that up and give me that? Right? And she couldn't see it. She couldn't see it. But she was obedient. She was obedient because she was willing to let go of the things that she couldn't see. She was willing to open the grip and give, right? And when she did that, her cupboards became full, right? So what you guys got to understand, if you're holding on to something right now, I don't care what it is. If you're holding on to something, then you got to ask yourself, if what I'm holding on to, is this beneficial to my future? Is this going to get me closer to where I want to go? And then the question is do you even freaking know where you want to go? Do you even have an idea that God has a bigger plan than where you currently are? Because maybe your bills ain't getting paid. Maybe because you have a child that's running around the streets. Maybe you have a child that's in juvenile detention center. Maybe you have a spouse that lives with you in the house, but you're fully separated. Maybe you yourself have a hard time being by yourself. That was like sometimes me, I'm like, I'm about to fight myself. Like, like because it's an unsettling situation when
You know
we
what?
are, huh?
Go ahead, finish your sentences.
I said when I just believe this. When we are holding on to anything, I don't care what it is. I truly believe, and I've watched thousands and thousands of people, and I've talked to thousands of people. You cannot, you cannot hold on to anything. You must open your grip to anything and everything in order to move forward. There's nothing. If you want to be the best, truest, authentic you that God created you to be, then I'm telling you this, there's nothing that you can bring with you. It's all got to go. All
Yeah,
of it's got
that's
to go.
that's so awesome. And I want to add to what you're saying. What you're saying is so powerful and so true. And I want to add a little bit to it. I was listening to John Maxwell today, but I was listening to Ashley Pena, my super awesome friend. She watches this. I was listening to her live yesterday, and it was so powerful. It was so great. I actually saved that live because it was so good. And she was saying that, when we're holding on to something because we're afraid of the next thing that's coming, right? So we're holding on to this because and we want to let it go because it's challenging, but we're here and it's challenging. But she's saying that we have to make a decision of what's in our greatest good. So we have to put it through the filter of what's in our greatest good. Is it this or is it this? And she says both things are going to be challenging. So letting go is challenging because you're facing your fears and you're stepping into growth. And there's no easy growth. There's no such thing as easy growth. Growth is not easy. It's deliberate. It's intentional. It expands you. It stretches you. But
It's the
that's
butterfly
also,
coming out of the cocoon.
yeah, and that's what she was explaining is that is also challenging, but which challenge do you choose? Do you choose the one that's going to be for your higher good, or do you choose the one that's going to keep you in that what is that you call it? Because I say comfort zone, but you call it something else. You say
Familiar zone. I
the
don't believe
familiar zone.
because I
Right, the
don't believe you
familiar
can be.
zone.
I don't believe you can. We call it the comfort zone, and the reason I say your comfort zone is because nothing comfortable lives there.
Yeah,
I've
I like
never.
what you say. I
Yeah,
like how
it's
you
it's,
say it
it's a
better.
familiar zone. It just becomes something. How many times do you hear somebody say, "Well, I just can't forgive. I just can't let go. I just can't get over that. And it's like, you just what? Like the only thing you can't let go of is the fact that you have no control over it. And once we start to understand that there are things that's going to happen to us that we can't even see yet, right? I don't care where you go, no matter where you're at in life, no matter how much growth I've had, you've had, all of us have had, tomorrow the world could bring tragedy to our lives. And if we are still holding on to the things of the past, then we're going to crumble to the things that happen. We need to let go. And we need to receive all the things that this life gives us, good, bad, and indifferent. We got to be receiving of it. And then we
Yeah.
got to be able to shield it, remove it, replace it with something that's going to move us forward. And that's the inviting of the growth.
So are you ready to open up your grip and allow good things to come in, right, Mr. Raymond? Are you ready? Are you ready for what's in your higher, what is it? What is it I told you she said? Higher good. In your what's are you
I
ready to
call it
step
a higher
into?
calling. There's a higher calling.
Well, a calling is a calling, and she's saying like your higher, what's gonna benefit you, like what's in your highest interest. It's more about interest than the calling. So she's saying like what's in your highest good. Like, are you ready to make the decision that's out of the familiar zone and get into the decision that it's in your highest good, which is growth. At the end of the day, if you're choosing the side of growth, there's no losing. Even if you make some mistakes and learn some lessons, you still learn some lessons, as opposed to staying in the familiar zone, where what are you going to learn in the familiar zone? What's going to change there?
Well, you can't learn in the familiar zone. You got closed grips.
Exactly.
When you live in the familiar zone, look, I'm telling you right now, circumstances suck, right? But you can't hide under your circumstances because nothing grows there. Nothing grows
Exactly.
in the familiar zone. It's this. Listen, I'm going to tell each and every one of you. You can go anywhere and plant yourself. You can like we're because we're humans and because God gave us a mind that we can actually use, right? We don't have to be on survival mode. We're not an animal out in the wilderness, right? That's being hunted or the hunter, right? But we for some reason we build that in us as if there are some people who will die constantly feeling like they're being hunted. Like I've seen it so many times, right? We gotta. I talked about it last night on with Johnny. I said, we need to be Benaiahs. And if you don't know Benaiah is the one that chased the lion into the pit, and he came out, and only the human feet print came out because he saw something and he wanted it and he went after it because he refused to stay comfortable any longer. See, if we remain comfortable in a life that's uncomfortable, because that's the bottom line, it, life is uncomfortable. I don't
Right.
care which way you twist it or turn it.
And that's
Life
what
is uncomfortable.
that's what Ashley was talking about yesterday, that she was saying that it's going to be uncomfortable whether you're in the familiar zone or whether you're stepping into something else. But which one do you choose? You have to choose the one that's in your highest and best interest. Which that was when she said that, it was so awesome to hear that. It's so true.
So we only got a couple more minutes, and then we want to jump off because we want to go check out Dr. Billy Allsbrooks. But I want to, while we wrap it up, I want to ask you is I know it's all fear, and I know it's all, but some people don't even understand fear. There are people who truly need us to come into their lives and serve them, and I don't believe that nobody. I don't believe any. I do believe that anybody. You could take anybody given the time and you can transform them into greatness. I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I don't care what country. I don't care what city. I don't care in the poorest of the poor, but you got to be willing to be of service to them. You got to, I'm going to tell you this, you can't be maximum service to anybody if you're on to the things that have kept you back. Because you're only going to be
Yeah.
able to serve up to a level that you're at. You're not going to be able to get them any farther. So
Yeah.
for
It's your
those that
seed.
are in the coaching industry, for those that are in the counseling industry, the therapist industry, for those that are in any type of industry where growth is growth. I'm going to say this. I'm going to tell growth
Say it.
isn't
Say it.
optional, people. Growth isn't optional.
Right.
It is
Especially
not
if you're helping
optional.
people.
Yes,
Especially
growth.
if you're in.
What are you reading today? What are you listening today? Who are you? Who is coaching you today? Who is your Sarai who's constantly poking you in the freaking eye, right?
Who's your Raymond who's constantly poking you in the freaking brain? Like, like if you are in the helping industry, you have to be committed to growth, your own personal growth. And if you're seeking someone to be your coach, therapist, mentor, whatever, make sure that person is in their own personal growth and is doing their self-work. As a therapist, you need to work through your own traumas and your own things, or else you're gonna put people's stuff through your own filter, and that's not
Mm.
really very
That,
helpful.
what you
So
say that I want to, and I don't want to cut. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I do want to say that since you brought that up,
I'm gonna give you
is
one pass for cutting me off. One pass,
well,
go.
it was payback, right? So, but I want you guys to understand is I hear so many times, right? Especially people who deal with depression, anxiety, personality disorders, whatever it is. There's some serious stuff out there, but
Yeah, there is.
they call themselves empathetic. They call themselves empaths, right? But I have a hard time to believe, right? This is the problem with anxiety and
Empath.
depression, right? Is they consistently put themselves around people that build that anxiety and depression in them, and they claim that they're empath, whatever, right?
Empath,
That's
empath.
empath, but that's what they claim, and really, they might feel bad for somebody, But truly, it to me, it's an addiction. It feeds their addiction. It feeds them to keep them trapped so they don't grow, so they don't have the opportunity to grow, right? You can't stay. Look, I tell people, you got to be careful. Like when you're in a place of turmoil, of anything, you got to be careful that you don't surround yourself with those same people. If you have
Yes.
not, if you have not helped yourself, loved yourself, got started to build yourself out of the familiar zone, then you really need to get away from those people who are unwilling to, that still live in post grip mentality.
Even that is so important because it is our tendency to go to the familiar zone, and familiar zone are people that mirror us. So even though they're not good for us, they mirror us. It's like what you were saying about relationships earlier, that you leave one relationship and you end up with another person who's just like the other relationship with another
Mm.
name, a whole other body and everything. But what happens when you meet someone who is completely different from anything you've ever had? Then it's part of that whole thing of, oh wow, it's scary, it's too good to be true, and I'm not even going to go there, and you do the pushback. So it goes back to the thing of the grip, and the grip has so much to do with the familiar zone. The grip has so much to
Mm.
do with the familiar zone. So you guys out there, because I know that we're already 2 minutes late into the other thing, so you guys out there, I want you guys to think about, what is your familiar zone? What are you holding on to that you know you need to let go of coming into 2021 and turning the page and starting a new chapter for yourself? What are some ideas? What are some beliefs? What are some people? What are some whatever it is that you need to let go of, so that it could serve your highest benefit, or however Ashley was, I said, I forgot what it was. Your that it could serve your greater good. What decisions do you need to make for your greater good? And I think a key to this is having faith that once you take that leap, things are going to work out for the best, and you're going to learn, and it's going to be amazing, and start meditating on it and start visualizing. Man, I visualize so much that I start believing that it's so true. I start fool myself into believing stuff is true, but it's so good that I believe it with every inch of my body. I believe, I believe in that compelling future. But anyway, that's what I have to. That's how I'm ending it. How are you ending it, Mr. Ray Ray?
I'm just the way I'm going to end it, and then we're going to be gone. Thank you. First, thank you guys. I always appreciate you guys commenting, and I'm sorry. I'm so not well at reading comments and responding because I get so thrown off tack. So, I love each and every one of you for engaging. But I just want to say this, you know, open up, open up to your pains, open up to your past, receive it. You have to receive it. You have to receive it, and then you got to accept it. You got to accept that maybe your life just flat out freaking sucked. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair that the things happened to you. You couldn't live like Johnny, whose parents stayed together and bought him a car and took him to college, right? We hold on to these things that are so stupid for us to hold on to because we carry them around for 20 or 30 years. And you get to a point and it's like you get to the line of something and you're talking to somebody and you repeat something and they look at you and they say, man, that sucks. When did that happen? 15 years ago. Like,
But they're
man,
still they're still living in 15 years ago. That's what I was talking
exactly.
about. If
You
you keep
gotta let
replaying
it
that,
go.
you're still living in that. Yeah. All right.
So
Sorry, I cut you
guys,
off.
no, my whole point is this, guys, is the time is now. COVID ain't going away anytime soon. Your mommy and daddy ain't going to bail you out. Your spouse might not believe in your future. Your children might run around and wreck your freaking car and go to rehab. I don't know what it is. You might lose your job over and over again. The key is this. You have control over what happens. Are you going to take control? Are you going to open up? You're going to open your up to receive and to invite the growth that you deserve in your life. You deserve it. Is it going to be hard? Hell yeah, it's going to be hard. I'm going to tell you this. If it ain't hard for you, I'm going to be mad at you because it's freaking hard, because it's not supposed to be easy. It's the molding of the things that we go through to get us out of the familiar zone, to put us in the places that most people they can only wish. They don't dream, because when you dream, you move. When you wish, you stand still. So remember, guys, open up your grip and invite the growth that you know you need to do in order to get where you want to go. I love you guys. This is your transformational talk with Ray and the troublemaker, Sarai.
We're no longer the preacher and the professor. Now it became something else. Remember, we were the preacher and the professor. All right, guys. Good night. It was awesome being here with you. I really love this talk. It was really awesome. So it was good.
It was. And sorry it started off so rough. Technology
It was
issues.
because Raven was in a bad mood.
I wasn't in a bad mood. I was frustrated with technology.
Did you see? He does the words. I'll do the face. Go do it again. Talk.
What were we talking about?
He said it wasn't in a bad mood. So this is that's what it.
You guys see that? She's like a 6-year-old. I swear. I guess that's why.
Good night, everyone. Have an awesome week.
Hey,
and think about everything we talked about.
Challenge.
Yes. Oh, man. Yes. Go now go to the group.
No. We were supposed to tell them about the event that you had going on, but we'll tell them next week. So you guys be on the lookout next week. We both have a special announcement to make next week.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Have a blessed night.
Go to the group now. Purpose to Impact Challenge now. Go there now. There's gonna be awesome.